They called him humanity's strongest soldier. But strength didn't save anyone. Behind every victory were bodies. Behind every command, regret. Behind every decision, loss. This is the story of Levi Ackerman, a man who carried humanity's hope on his back and its funerals in his heart. A man who did what had to be done and was punished for it by fate itself. He was the sword, the shadow, the ghost of those who didn't make it. He gave everything, and he was left with nothing. Levi Ackerman didn't start with power. He started with nothing, literally nothing. He was born in the underground, a place so deep beneath the capital that sunlight was a rumor. Crime ran the streets, children died nameless. His mother was a prostitute. She died of sickness when Levi was still a child, her body lying cold and forgotten in their tiny room. Levi sat beside her, starving. He would have died too, if not for one man, Kenny the Ripper. But Kenny didn't save Levi out of love. He saved him to make a weapon. Kenny taught Levi how to fight, how to move, how to kill. He gave him a knife, not a childhood. Training, not affection. Don't trust anyone. Don't rely on anyone. Don't hesitate. That was Levi's education. He learned not to speak unless necessary, not to show pain, not to need anyone. But inside, there was still a boy who never knew kindness. For a while, Levi escaped. He found friends, real ones. Farland Church and Isabel Magnolia. They weren't from the underground. They were the underground. They grew up in the same darkness. But they smiled. They dreamed. Together, they joined the Survey Corps. They wanted to make the world better, to breathe air that wasn't laced with filth, to see the sun from above, not through sewer grates. But that dream didn't last. During a mission, both Farland and Isabel were killed. Levi survived. That was the pattern that would define his life. Everyone around him dies, and he survives. He buried their bodies, put on the cloak, and moved forward. From that point on, Levi wasn't just a soldier. He was the weapon. A legend was born, not from glory, but from grief. He became humanity's strongest, not because he wanted to be, but because he had no other choice. Then came Erwin Smith. Where others saw strategy, Erwin saw possibility. He was the only man Levi ever truly followed. Levi didn't believe in ideals, but he believed in Erwin. They weren't friends. They were something deeper. Two men bound by duty. Erwin saw the big picture. Levi cleaned up the blood. Their relationship was forged in silence. No hugs, no speeches, just understanding. And when Erwin led soldiers to die, Levi was the blade that ensured it meant something. Erwin carried dreams. Levi carried the weight. Then came the day it all broke. On the battlefield, two men lay dying. Erwin Smith, the commander of humanity. Armin Arlert, the heart of the next generation. Levi had the Titan serum. He could save only one. The world screamed for Erwin. The war needed him. But Erwin had given enough. He had seen enough. He had spent his entire life chasing truth. And Levi knew he deserved peace, so Levi chose Armin. He ended the dream of the man he respected more than anyone, so that a child could dream again. Levi didn't cry. He didn't scream. He simply whispered, "Rest, Erwin." And he carried on. But that choice would haunt him forever. Then came the monster. Zeke Yeager, the Beast Titan. He annihilated Levi's squad. Dozens of soldiers, innocent recruits, gone in seconds. Levi didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He descended upon Zeke like vengeance incarnate. It wasn't a fight. It was a punishment. Levi slashed Zeke apart, severed limbs, sliced nerves. He didn't kill him, not yet, because killing Zeke would be mercy, and Levi had none left to give. That moment wasn't about strategy. It was personal. But even after all that, Zeke escaped, and Levi was left with blood on his hands again, and no one to bury. By the end, Levi was no longer a soldier. He was a relic, a scar. 2 fingers gone, face torn, body broken, but he was still watching. He protected Armin, Mikasa, Gabi, Falco. Not because he believed in peace, but because he knew the cost of war. In the final battle, Levi was no longer fighting Titans. He was fighting regret, guilt, memory. He killed Zeke, not for revenge, but for closure. And when the dust settled, he didn't ask for thanks. He didn't ask for medals. He simply watched the sun rise, silently. Levi Ackerman is not your typical hero. He isn't loud. He isn't flashy. He doesn't inspire with speeches. He inspires with silence, with presence, with resilience. Stoicism isn't about pretending you're okay. It's about standing anyway, through death, through despair, through the unbearable weight of surviving. Levi lived by 3 rules. Protect your own, do your job, never break. He failed, he fell, he bled, but he never broke. That's what made him strong, not his speed, not his skill, his ability to endure. He buried his friends, he lost his future, and still, he stood. Levi Ackerman was the strongest soldier. But strength came at a cost, and no one paid more than him. He gave everything and asked for nothing.